Women, and really all humans, but we're going to focus on women today, have been taught to seek saving in Big Daddy in the sky. And even if you were not raised with religion, like me, I was not raised with religion. My mom told me she believed that I would find my own spirituality, and I think I did a pretty good job, if I do say so myself. Having downloaded Enlightenment on the dance floor of a rave at 19 years old and embodying enlightenment and experiencing enlightenment are very different things. So when I say that, it's not like I'm like, oh, I was enlightened and everything was fine. It's like, no, I experienced it. And then I've had a long, tumultuous, many dark nights of the soul journey to embodying pieces of it. And it is a continual evolution. Okay, that said, we have been taught, women, men, we're going to focus on women, to worship the Big Daddy in the sky. So even those of us who were not taught to worship Big Daddy in the sky, we were taught to seek saving in men on some sneaky or subtle level, especially a wealthy man, in money, in a job, in a career, in something outside of ourselves. And we witnessed the women ahead of us always seeking something outside, even if that something outside was control and perfectionism and making sure that they were doing the quote unquote right thing. And what that did is it caused us all to seek outside of ourselves, even in the sneakiest, most insidious, and most subtle of ways. Hello, welcome to Yarrow K Academy of Healing, Expanding, Spiritually Transforming, and Mastering Energetics. I am Yarrow K, your host, leadership mentor, nervous system genius, clinically trained therapist, spiritual teacher, and all around energetic sorceress. And welcome. So, I want you to sit with how this lands for you. Like, in what ways are you seeking saving, consciously or unconsciously? Because here's the thing about humans, we're so fucking sneaky. And most everything that's happening is happening in the unconscious. And bringing it into the conscious will ask us to have a mirror. Now, life can be your mirror, and you have to have the consciousness to be able to discern what the lessons are. And most of the time, we need help with that. We need a guide, we need a community, we need a space where we can be effectively guided through the dimensions of our being. So this is why I created your OK Academy. You can watch the videos. I have many different offers. I have the portal, which is my 6 or 12-month group mentorship program. I have Magnetism, Sex, Power. It is a series of pre-recorded courses and live calls. 3 of the live calls have been done. They are uploaded, ready to go. You can watch them anytime. We have 1 more live call left for the month. There is going to be coming a mystery school around this topic soon. Anyways, when we are with other humans doing this work, we are more effectively guided, right? Because we're sneaky. It's just the truth. However, do what you are able to do internally through everything you receive in this video or in any other video you watch or in any other teacher, or even in looking at life as a mirror for you and what is actually happening in life around you. My cat wants to be in my lap, so we're going to give him a little help because he's getting old and he needs a little help. He's my mirror right now for how I am holding him transitioning into a next phase of his life where he's losing some of his abilities. Can I hold the pain of that? It's something new for me to work with. I've had him for almost 18 years. And so being with that is a new way of, can I just hold this and be with this without trying to fix it, change it, or seek saving outside of me? Because there's really nothing that can be done. It's just being able to be with it. And most of the reason that we seek outside of ourselves is because we have a massive inability to be with ourselves, because we have a massive inability to be with our feelings and our emotions. And when it comes to women seeking saving in Big Daddy in the sky, we've been conditioned to that because we would quite literally die if we did not. Not just Big Daddy in the sky, but men. So we needed men to own property, to have money, to exist in this world. We were not able to own land. We weren't able to hold our own money. We weren't able to exist without a man. Like, sit with that for a minute. Oh my God, could you imagine? And there are people who are trying to bring it back to that time. Like, And then if we go thousands of years back, women were actually the keepers of the money. So this is a big power struggle between men and women. And what we all need to do is create that internal masculine and internal feminine within us so we create union so we're able to honor both in each other. That's another video. I like to call it an inner high fae daddy and your inner goddess. And then they come into union. It's a beautiful thing. So inner high fae daddy just makes me giddy every time. If you have read any of Sarah J. Maas's books, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not, go read A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's like the gateway drug to these books. And when you create your inner high fae daddy, you stop seeking outside of yourself, which means you stop seeking it in Big Daddy in the sky. So what happened here is we took religion, spirituality, the divine, and we took it outside of ourselves. And we were told that we are sinners and we have to repent, right? Like everything we go through, and it perpetuates scarcity and you're suffering. And it's like everything you go through is to then be forgiven by Jesus and taken to Big Daddy in the sky in heaven. This is heaven right now on earth, in your heart, in your being, in your soul. You are meant to be on your own journey. You are not wrong. You did not sin. Your existence is not wrong. And because we have been taught that we are supposed to be wrong for being human because we're innately sinners, then we think our existence is wrong and we run around continually apologizing for who we are. And then we also think we have quote unquote impure thoughts that we are wrong. And then we try to shove them down into our unconscious. And then they come out sideways and in nefarious ways, especially with men. Again, I'm meant to be focusing on women. I'm laughing at myself right now. So when it comes to women seeking saving in Big Daddy in the sky, they then start to look outside of themselves in every other way. This man is going to fix it. This job is going to fix it. This amount of money is going to fix it. If I have the perfect life, if I have this number of children and this amount of money and this perfect husband, if I go to this vacation, if I own this bag, if I have this body, do you see what I'm doing here? If everything looks the way I think it quote unquote should, if I have these things, then I'm going to be okay. I said to a client yesterday, or 2 days ago, she said, well, if I do all this, then the manifestations are going to come. I said, then what happens then? She's like, well, then I'm good. I have the manifestations. I was like, that's not how this works. You could have all the things and still feel like total shit. This is about how do you feel internally. This isn't about what you get. But women especially have been conditioned, we will die if we do not seek saving. I need the thing to make me better. I need something outside of me to make me whole. I need this thing, right? And this isn't even to say anything bad about religion. However, I have a lot of beliefs. I have a lot of feelings about what religion has done to humanity and the ways that we have become so disembodied. It's taken away the sacred from within us. The sacred lives within you. Like, let that land in your being. The sacred lives within you. Can you take that in? Can you feel it? Do you allow it to permeate through all of your cells? Because what you're doing when you're seeking outside like that is you are abandoning yourself and rejecting yourself. It isn't until you can come into wholeness with yourself. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect. This is not a fucking perfectionism game. I get livid when I go on like TikTok or Instagram. It's like, I did my perfect routine and now everything is fine. You fucking look like you want to die. I want people to feel alive. Do you feel this energy moving through my body, this vibration moving through my body? Like, the tears welling up in my eyes. Like, fuck this. I have the perfect morning routine. I have the beautiful house. I have the beautiful husband. And yet I look like I have absolutely no vitality flowing through my being at all. And you know what is the truth of this? To experience joy, you have to go through all the pain. You can't experience joy without going through all the pain, because when you have pain that's unprocessed in your body, it becomes constricted and it's tight in your being. And so if something happens that makes you laugh really loud or like feel joyful in your heart, it touches that pain. And then you go, can't touch that, so I can't feel joy either. I can't touch that, so I can't feel joy. And so in order to actually feel, I call it like effervescent joy through your whole being, you have to be willing to touch the pain, because until you process that pain, it's living in you, and any big emotion, which joy is a big emotion, is going to get mixed up with that pain. So when you process the pain, which sometimes can be quite a process, then you have a neutrality in your being, and then you're able to be with all emotions. And I've been telling my clients lately, I'm like, you should feel every emotion every day. Sometimes by 7 a.m., because I wake up around 5:30, I lay in bed for a while. I love laying in bed, and it's like one of my favorite things in the morning. So I have to set my alarm so I have time to lay in bed. Yes, I just said that. I set my alarm so I have time to lay in bed. Do you see how I don't make myself wrong for that? Use that as a guidepost, because so many people are like, no, you got to get out of bed right away. And if you lay around and blah, 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 everyone is different. My body, if I jump out of bed, feels very shocked by having to be in the world. I'm very sensitive. I astral project in my dreams a lot. There's a lot that happens for me in my sleep. I need time to reawaken to the physical world. And so I need time to lie in bed. Please take that as, and even if it's not, it doesn't have to be the lying in bed. It's who are you as a human? What works for you as a human? Fucking make it work for you. Like, period. Okay, so I lay in bed for a while. And I was telling my clients the other day, I have experienced every emotion by 7 a.m. sometimes. I've been angry, I have cried, I have, I felt joy, like, and then I get back to like a neutral state, and then it'll happen again. And it cycles through my day, probably, who knows? I've never counted multiple, many times a day that I feel all the feelings by a certain hour of the day, and then it just continues all day long. So many people walk through this world and they're constricted and they don't feel any of the feelings. And then if they start to feel a feeling, they only feel it to a certain degree. So when you have unprocessed emotion coded into your nervous system, which also could be unprocessed trauma that gets stuck in there, and then you don't feel the and process the emotion around it, and it gets stuck in your body, you're only going to let yourself feel so much, even if it's joy, because you're going to have to touch that pain. So moving through that pain, coming back to joy, sets you free. And you're only going to be doing that if you stop fucking looking outside of yourself for something to save you. It is in you. And that doesn't mean you only need you. We're humans. We need connection. It means that you allow yourself the space to live, to learn, to grow, to evolve without shaming yourself, making yourself wrong, thinking it's going to be perfect, or thinking you need to have all the things in order for your life to go together, or thinking you need to grasp onto something outside of you. Big Daddy in the sky is not going to save you, because you know what? Big Daddy in the sky is you. The sacred is you. The divine is you. I'll say it a million times until it lands in your body. The divine is you. And so the only way forward is to allow yourself to be holy and divine as you are in all facets of you. All of your bullshit, all of your shame, the all of this dark twisty shit that you pretend you don't think, all of the unconscious lies you tell, all of the jealousy and the comparison and the judgment and the self berating, love it all. And in order to love it all, you have to first accept it all, to be with it all, to start to actually recognize the divinity within you so that you can integrate into wholeness and stop shaming yourself, berating yourself, criticizing yourself, and judging yourself, but rather being so tender and sweet and loving with yourself and holding your feet to the fire to be who you're meant to be. Holding yourself to your divinity is often what I teach my clients. And that is what I do in my world, is I hold my clients, everyone in my life, my friends, my family, my partners, I hold you to your divinity. Because if I don't hold you to your divinity, I'm not holding myself to my divinity, and I hold myself to my divinity. And when we can all do that collectively, we have a very different world. So, if you want to stop looking outside of you, even in sneaky, insidious ways, judging yourself, comparing yourself, shooting on yourself, thinking things need to be perfect, if you want to fall in love with your journey and who you are, join my world. We have the portal, we have magnetism, sex, power. I'll have another round of the composer in April. We're going to have the mystery school coming soon. There's so many different ways to do it. And this is actually creating a new way of being in the world, a new way of relating, one where you actually fully surrender to and fall in love with your journey and become your unique magnetic vibration, which is one of the programs in magnetism, sex, power. Magnetic Muse. And it is so freaking potent because we're all different. We all have different vocal cords, we all have different fingerprints, we all have a different energetic vibration, and we are meant to show up and serve from the purity of that space. And I guide you home to you so you feel safe to do so.